Just give me a yes or a no, operator. We are live. Fantastic. Live from the Game Haven.
Where you get more for your games.
Absolutely. Where you, too, can come get more for your games here in Riverside, Ohio. We are Dayton Magic Club. In the booth tonight, you have myself, Ryan Johnson, doing commentary alongside frequent Dayton Magic Club contributor,
Scott Campbell.
Scott Campbell.
You can follow me at MTG Packfoils on Twitter.
Absolutely. And we advise everyone to play locally, read locally at DaytonMagicClubWebsite.com. Also, check out our host who's hosting us graciously here tonight, the Game Haven, at thegamehaven.com, where you can also find some contributions from the prolific Mr. Campbell. Tonight, we are bringing you, live from the Game Haven, 5 rounds of Standard for FNM tonight. And that is 24 players. We'll get some more details about who's here, what they're playing, what the prize payout's going to be, that kind of thing, as the evening goes on. Right now, I can tell you 24 players, 5 rounds, and our first feature match, Table 10, Derek Dyer versus Logan Dice. Logan is a regular here at the store. He is famous for playing a lot of different, extremely aggressive mono-red strategies.
Yes.
Derek has a pretty broad range. I don't know what he's playing tonight.
I'm feeling black-white, probably.
He likes black-white. I know he's played Jund various times as well. I know he used to be on Zombies back when that deck was in Standard. So he's kind of a mid-rangey player if you had to pigeonhole him into a favored strategy. So this could be kind of an archetypal battle of aggro versus mid-range. We'll see. We should be able to pick out what they're playing pretty quickly. Don't know if there's any super sweet ones in the room tonight, but we'll be sure to keep an eye out for those and get you guys good feature matches as the night goes on. So, we got the end of Standard.
Yeah.
This current Standard.
I'm sorry if I'm not a little bit more hype. I'm kind of depressed.
Yeah.
Sphinx of Revelation.
Yeah. You got stuff. You're gonna miss. I also like Sphinx of Revelation. I'm a Sphinx player these days. So I'll be sad to see some of that stuff go, but excited about cons.
Yeah.
Excited about some of the spoilers, and we can definitely talk about some of those as the night goes on. I do think it's interesting to see some of these decks that are arising just here at the very end of the rotation. It looks like M15 is shaking up the format in a pretty major way, and especially with the rise of Goblin Rabblemaster, which is popping up everywhere these days. A very powerful card. I'm sure we'll see plenty of him tonight. I'd be very surprised if Logan didn't have the full set in his deck.
I feel a Foundry Street Innocent is going to be appearing at some point in time on Logan's side of the table.
I feel that's a good guess.
If not, I will be shocked. I will be that shocked.
So, so that'll be interesting as we watch tonight. This is an extremely mature Standard. A lot of these players are going to be piloting decks. They're giving them one last hurrah.
Yep.
And I think it'll be really interesting to see what these people are going to come up with. I want to see also if there's any people trying anything really off the wall for that last week or so of this dying Standard. So, looks like we're hearing from our operator, who, by the way, we didn't introduce, the venerable and wise Jacob Ross, our operator tonight.
Mr. Mountain himself.
Indeed.
Basic Mountain.
Our frequent commentator here in the booth tonight. He's separating into the operator position, so he'll be providing us with all the information on the game states, players' life totals, various things like that, as well as making sure all of this. And people at home would not understand how incredibly exciting it is that this rig is working at all. If you could see it and knew all the moving parts we've cobbled together.
I shaved the last time we had coverage, and now we have coverage back again.
Yep.
That's how long it's been.
It's been a while. We have brand new equipment. We have brand new personnel. We're excited to be back. We're excited for the opportunity, and look for us to be on a lot more consistently in the future. That's not a great die roll from Derek there. And that'll be good enough. Looks like Logan will be on the play today for game 1.
So what's the over-under on number of minutes this match takes?
That's a really good question. I will be more comfortable answering that when I see what Derek is playing. I think I saw a Swamp. I think I see a black-white Skyland. I think you might be right that he's on black-white.
Yep.
which means this game's either going to be over pretty quickly. If Logan has his say, Derek's looking to slow the game down a little bit so his really powerful cards that he plays can take over the mid game. Yeah. So I'm going to say short. I think Rabble Red is this is the kind of deck that Rabble Red was a big part of the format after the Pro Tour.
Yes.
That Rabble Red kind of rose up to potentially beat. So I think this matchup is good. I think Rabble Master is good here. I think you can get under a lot of his powerful stuff and finish him off with a Stoke the Flames and some lightning strikes before he can really establish the board too much. Now, with that said, Derek's deck certainly has more powerful cards. A good start from him would be blunting the initial onslaught and untapping with some real insane bomb. I don't know if he's playing Upset. I don't know if he's playing Elspeth. I know Desecration Demon's not as good here as it has been historically in this game. It looks like Derek's going back again. Is that a second mulligan?
I believe so.
It's like he's going down to 5. Down to 5. Logan looks like he is happy with his 7. So this could be a quick game 1.
Logan, the master of less than 3 converted mana cost drops.
Yes. And if there's a deck out there that can punish a shaky start in the format, it's definitely Logan's Rabble Master Red list. Even without Rabble Master, sometimes you can go 1 drop, 1 drop, 1 drop, 1 drop, 1 drop, 1 drop, and you're just dead.
Oh, let's see like this. With,
for example,
Legion Loyalist.
Legion Loyalist, the one taking Derek down to 19. Derek scries. Inflicted. All right, doesn't like it. Chip it.
Depending on how aggressive Logan is here, Thoughtseize could really be a bad card in Derek's hand.
Yes, absolutely. Looks like we're just going to get in for another 1 this turn, putting Derek down to 18 life, and we're going to bring in Burning Tree,
Lightning Strike.
Lightning Strike you. Logan can smell blood.
So, does that say he's the shark in the room?
I would say that at this moment, he is definitely the shark. What do we got here? A Rabble Master?
Oh, Hall of Triumph, the new tech.
Oh, I love it. And Derek, of course, stuck on 1 land.
Yep.
Not going well.
This would be a situation where, ladies and gentlemen, we would call this the field.
Yeah, I know him. Yep. So the question is, let's talk about sideboarding.
Yeah. So I'm feeling the Stoke the Flames is going to come here now. Maybe.
I don't know how prepared Derek is for this matchup.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's aware of it. Yep, and that's enough. That's game 1.
Yep.
Pretty uneventful. A mull to 5, got stuck on 1 land for too long, and Logan just broke out and killed it.
I will admit, as a control player myself, the Hall of Triumph was like, oh, well, this guy's bigger than 2, so I can't last by this.
Yep.
So that's a problem.
It's a problem. I like it. I like all a lot.
Yeah.
It's a sweet one. It makes those goblin tokens a lot scarier.
I wonder if he has Brimaz in his board. I mean,
I don't know how much white.
Have like 2 white there.
Yeah.
So that might be interesting.
There are cards that are very powerful in this match he has access to. We're being told by our operator that he actually is playing Brimaz, which would be very powerful in this one, in this matchup in particular. So he's very white.
Okay.
Playing double white spells. There are other powerful effects he could have access to. There is, I'm drawing a blank on it. It's a deal 2, gain 2 life.
Oh, Freakus Cure?
Freakus Cure, the updated Sorin's Thirst.
Yes.
I was thinking Sorin's Thirst. So he, we're laughing. Our operator, Jacob Ross, who is the one who shipped Logan this list tonight, this Rabble Master Red list, is complaining that Logan is not sideboarding how Jacob would sideboard in this matchup.
Red Mage is not agreeing with each other. Who knew?
Yeah. So, depending on how prepared Derek is for this matchup, there are very powerful cards he could have access to if he respects the matchup enough to include them. Freakus Cure, very good. Brimaz already very good. If you can survive long enough, a card like Obsidat can really start pulling you ahead.
Yes.
Depending on how aggressive he wants to be, Nyx Fleece Ram is a card that could be very powerful. And Game Haven, for those of you who may be watching that don't regularly play here, is known for its relatively aggressive room. We have a lot of aggro players. That's not to say there aren't other archetypes represented. We have some players who won't play anything with blue-eye control. We have guys that play nothing but Jund. But
Well, let me see here. Where's the list? I just want to see who.
List of players. Yeah.
Let's see. I know David Martin's in the room, so there's
Yeah.
probably some John there.
I know for a fact he's playing John Monsters tonight.
Yes. Dennis Creek also playing John. Brandon Davis playing John.
Is he playing like the real mid-rangey junk with like coursers? And
the one that Reed put out initially, and then people kind of extrapolate on. Tom McDaniel's in the room, so we may see a control matchup.
Although he's been playing the big green variants as well, too, like the Mono Green Devotion.
The one that Kevin beat me with on Monday.
Yeah. So he, Tom McDaniel likes to go, he's known as a control player, but as he explained, he just likes to go big, and for a long time, Sphinx's Revelation was just the biggest thing you could do. Yeah. But he likes a lot of these super mana rampy mono green decks that you've seen floating around. We're back to game two, I'm sorry. Rakdos Cackler hits the board, and it does look like Derek's deck is very white. That's a basic plane. So
everybody's got swamps now, though, and there's Packrat.
So this is a card that's obviously very good in this matchup. Give it 2 or 3 turns unchecked, and it's just really easy. You can't catch up. It looks like there's at least some Mizium Mortars in Logan's hand. He's going to offer Derek the chance to block first, which Derek will not take, and then he's going to second main. No, he's just going to just get on the board. Dudes. Wow. It's a lot of dudes. A Hall of Triumph would be very scary next turn.
It would, although I probably would have killed the Packrat
I don't know for sure that was a Mortars. I thought I saw one.
Okay. Even like a Searing Blood would have been good.
A Searing Blood would have been very good, yes, I agree. Although Searing Blood, you can put in a position where Searing Blood is still alive, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think you have an opportunity to kill Rat. We've learned over the course of this standard format, and that's another actual Packrat. No token this time. But Derek, it looks like maybe stuck on 2 lands.
Yeah. I wonder what's going on there. It's not like him to be stuck on lands.
No, but I can certainly see keeping the 2-land Packrat hand. It's very hard to throw that one back. So, this is a big turn for Logan. Got to get out ahead of those Packrats, which he's doing a decent job of so far. But if Derek untaps and plays a land, this game's going to get very difficult to win very quickly.
Absolutely.
Looks like he's going to serve in, which I like. I mean, obviously, what are you going to do? Stop attacking?
Right.
Don't be ridiculous. So, Derek is pretty priced into taking 6 here. I don't know if he has a good block. He could block one of the satyrs and kill it. But then he's down a rat, and
And he only did 2 damage to Logan.
Yeah. So I think the upside of untapping, making a rat, and having 3 3/3s is very high. Where blocking here gives you the maximum of 2/2s, which trade at best with Logan's creatures. He's going to block. He's going to block the Cackler.
That's interesting.
To me, that says he has Bile Blight.
Yeah.
And no second black. That may be what I saw. That's an Eidolon. I may have seen the Eidolon.
Gotcha.
Eidolon's good here. But man, you just got to be afraid of Bile Blight. That's what that block says to me. Is that
he even doesn't. If he hits no lands here. Oh, nope. Here's one. Mutavault.
It's a Mutavault. That's not a
very swampy Mutavault.
Yep. That is another black source. Third land out of Logan. This could be now we're in Rabble Master range.
And I think that's exactly what was just played.
Jacob, could you confirm what that card is over on the edge there? We can't quite make it out. I do think it is a Rabble Master. It is a Rabble Master. Yep. So that's pretty good.
So here comes a Hamburger token.
Yep. I like it. Wobble wobble.
Get in there. Being aggressive with the Eidolon.
Yep. I don't hate it. Basically, if you force Derek to block here, profitably, it's actually, you have to lose the Mutavault to do it. He could make rats too, but it's starting to get pretty grim where he's going to have a hard time getting out in front of what Logan's doing here. But instead, he's going to.
There's your Bile Blight.
There's the Bile Blight.
Bring myself to those guys.
Which
I think
is big.
He's blocking the token.
Yeah.
And then he's going to activate Mutavault to make his rat survive.
Yep.
Pretty sweet comeback there.
Yep, absolutely. That was a good turn for him. Bile Blight is a big deal. Good card. Could be good in this matchup. Can also be kind of weak. If it's just a 2-mana kill one of your guys spell, it's not particularly good in this matchup. If Logan has nice diverse directs, and his deck certainly has a ton of 1-drops. So now it's Logan who's under the gun. Because this Pack Rat is really threatening to take over the game.
Yeah.
If left unchecked. He really needs to draw an answer to it last turn. I don't know. That window is probably closing pretty rapidly. Yeah.
Doomblade to take care of the Eidolon.
He's going to take 2 more off that, so he will be 10 life, if I'm correct. And now it's Rabble Master versus Active Pack Rat. Now, this is a turn where you can draw an answer to Pack Rat.
Yeah.
This is your last opportunity. Could we stoke the flames here? Yeah, okay, there we go. All right, so now that was a big turn.
Ultimate price to kill the Rabble Master.
Okay. You got to favor Derek here, I think, because
he's on the comeback.
He's on the comeback, and his deck certainly contains, at this point, more powerful cards as a Desecration Demon.
Yeah, with an empty board, that guy can get to work real quick.
Logan's a little flooded. It's not impossible for him to burn Derek out here, but it's going to be hard to do so before Desecration even becomes a real problem.
Yeah.
Can't quite make out what's in his hand. That could be a Stoke the Flames. He's shuffling them pretty fast. Is it 2 Stoke the Flames?
That's a whip.
Oh, whip is a big game, but you can always feed the demon for a turn or 2 and try to draw burn.
Yeah. Red decks don't draw burn.
No, that's ridiculous. That is what he's doing right here. Can't let him gain 6 life.
So we'll give him a counter to gain 7 next time.
Yes. Well, a land is not what you want. You needed a creature there. A creature would be good. A creature would have let him play the creature and then stoke.
Yes.
But alas.
There's a duress.
Duress is
with only. Well, no, I think he's got 4 mana. Oh, is that double stoke?
Yep, double stoke. So his line was to draw 2 running creatures and then try to finish burning them out, but it was not to be. And now we're going to gain 7 and pretty much put this game away.
Yeah. I wonder if Derek has Fiendslayer Paladin in the board.
Well, there's Brimaz.
There's a Brimaz. That should just be scoop phase for Logan.
Well, he's gonna stoke it. I don't know what his answer. He draws a mountain, passes back, and Desecration Demon plus Mutavault will end this game pretty rapidly.
Yeah.
So game 3, Logan's gonna be back on the play.
Yes.
Which is a big deal.
We're gonna get that Brimaz in there.
Of course we are.
Well played.
You can't just kill a Brimaz. Logan doing some quick math, realizing he is real dead, and he's going to scoop him up.
Super-de-duper dead.
So like we said before, Derek certainly favored the longer the game goes on. You certainly can't let him, you win many games where he gets to play Desecration Demon on empty board.
Right.
I don't think. From a double-digit life total like that. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Pack Rat was good. Not even great there. Pack Rat was just a dude. He was a grizzly bear most of the time.
Yeah, missing the land drops. That does unfortunately happen, but I think that probably hurt him a little bit, depending on how he wanted to sequence his plays. The Bio Blight was huge, though.
Yes, Bio Blight was a big game there. So we'll see. Logan on the play with a slightly more aggressive draw is certainly capable of stealing this game 3 and winning the match. Derek looks to be, if he was the more black version, I would say Logan has a very good game against him. He seems to be very white, though. Brimaz is just huge. It's your own Goblin Rabble Master that can block amazingly well. There's a 1-card threat that just locks up the whole board very quickly against all of Logan's X1s.
Plus he's a cat.
Plus he's a cat man. So
cats over goblins.
It's all upside. So here we go.
Mull the 6 for Logan, I believe. That's what it looked like to me.
Can't quite see what's in his hand. See some lands, some spells.
Yeah.
Seems like what you want.
I think we go runner Thunder Street Denizens. Derek might be in trouble here.
I agree.
But Logan is shipping it back.
Doesn't like it. The thing about Rebel Red, you try to minimize the risk of flood as much as you can. but it's just still a fact of life for these super aggressive red decks. If you start to flood, it can be very hard to win.
Yes.
2 mountains off the top of the mid game when you need almost any spell. It's very frustrating, but it happens. You don't get to play a lot of the variance minimizing cards that other decks have access to in this format, like the Scry lands,
right?
Like something like the blue-white decks where they can play a bunch of divinations and Scry lands and just really control the top of their deck, power through those clumps of lands or whatever. So that can be tough. You don't have any control over it. You just got to build your deck the best you can. But flooding out is still something you're a little susceptible to.
Yes. And
that certainly, we saw that last game where Logan drew 2 or 3 lands, which almost any spell could have put him right back in that game.
He was desperately raving to find ways to win that game.
I see what you did there.
Nice. I'm glad you did.
And this is what Logan does. Turn 1, Rakdos Cackler, not a surprise.
And Scryland.
Scryland from there. I didn't see if he kept or not.
Or no, I think that's actually Godless
Shrine. Oh, it is. It is. Godless Shrine tapped. Just 2 coming across. What do we got here? Burning Tree Emissary into a Fire Drinker.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good. Not bad. Derek plays a land and passes. Could be holding up all kinds of different removal spells.
Could be.
We saw Bioblight and
Ultimate
Price last game, so a lot of minute spells. There's an Ash Zealot threatening to get in there for 8 damage. We'll see if he's got a removal spell. If he does, I imagine the Ash Zealot's going to bite the dust.
Can't kill one of them.
Yep. I think the first strike on the Ash Zealot, with the ability to not trade with a Mutavault, is obviously. Though the pump ability on the Satyr is one of the ways you mitigate flood. And if Derek doesn't have a blocker here, it's tempting to take away that extra point of damage that the Fire Drinker Satyr represents. But I think that first strike is just too guys in punch. There's our old friend Brimaz.
There he is.
Oh, Logan's body language does not scream to me, I have an answer to that Brimaz.
Right. So after getting kind of pseudo time walk there with the Burning Tree Emissary on turn 2, Derek responds to that Brimaz. Now, and the Stoke of Flames are bust, I think, here?
Yeah, now the red deck isn't as vulnerable to Brimaz as has been historically in this format. You do get Stoke of Flames, which is a great answer, because unlike a card like Lysium Mortars, which when you had access to that, you had to take a slot in your deck and replace with a spell that could not do damage to your opponent.
Right.
Which is a very real cost when you're this aggressive. I can't quite make out what that is. Derek, you want to...
It's a 2-drop of some sort. Can't be Rabble. Oh, Striker.
Okay, that's a good one. But it's not going to get him out of this hole. Once Derek starts being comfortable to attack with that Vigilance 3/4 there,
right.
There's not a lot of reason not to coming up soon. Especially as a removal spell to back it up, it could be real ugly over the next couple turns.
So attack, get Cat, kind of force a block, which I don't think Logan will block here. He'll just take it. And then you have a Cat back to block next turn.
And it threatens to trade with the Fire Drinker while the Brimaz just eats anything else on the board. That Firefish Striker is a big game.
Just going to throw that Burning Tree there.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I don't think you open yourself up to the blowout from the removal spell here. Obviously, it's tempting to try to double block down that Brimaz. But, one removal spell and you've just gotten completely blown out. He's thinking about it. Of course, that Rakdos Cackler cannot block. You can just throw away the Firefish Striker, which you do not want to do.
I'm sensing a hero's downfall here, and Derek's going to away for the next attack.
Yep. Man, Brimaz does so much work. That card is disgusting. Scryland. Probably looking for any spell here. I think you're pretty happy to be drawing spells.
Probably like on that place out of four.
Nice.
Had him since GP.
Nice. How much were they at GP since?
Oh, I don't know. I traded for them now. Okay. Oh, more guys. Is that? I think that is a Rabble Master.
That looks like a Rabble Master. A little hidden under Logan's name there.
Gonna kill the first striker.
All right. Yeah. Yep. It was a Rabble Master. Comes in.
True story. You can kill Rabble Master after it resolves against the battlefield, but before we go to combat. A lot of people don't know that. They wait till combat. You're going into it to kill the Rabble Master.
Fair. And we've already gotten value.
Yes.
So we're gonna eat that guy and deal you some damage.
Yep. Get him off the field now. That way he can't pop him. Still taking quite a bit though.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that's an attack that you have to make most of the time, depending on your hand. I mean, really, your best case scenario is you keep Derek on the back foot long enough, you minimize the effect of Brimaz enough that you can stoke it a couple turns later and not be hopelessly behind.
Yes.
So I think that's important. You can't just turtle up and let Brimaz eat a guy every turn gas.
That's why I'm wondering why he didn't kill the Rabble Master, because if so, that would have been one less token on the field.
That's true. Though that Firefish Striker would have made Brimaz unable to block, but he's unable to generate a token, which means he's taken significantly more damage and getting into range. I think it's at this point, especially if you have another removal spell.
That's a Foundry Street Denizen?
Foundry Street Denizen. Not a great card left in his hand. He really wants to pretty much stoke the flames by just the most exciting draw possible.
I forgot about that battalion on that Firefish Striker.
Yeah,
get in there.
Yep. Pump down the token. Pretty risk free. Derek doesn't have a way to punish you for taking a damage on your Random Master. Oh man, just think of how much damage it is this turn if that Brimaz is gone, if Rabble Master can attack. Now here's something interesting. If you think Derek doesn't have a removal spell, you get in there with Rabble Master and he's priced into blocking.
Yeah.
It's worth 6 damage all on its own.
I think that's mutable there.
It is, yeah.
So Rabble Master can
before combat.
We're gonna kill Good job. There we go.
There it is.
Exactly what I was talking about.
Yep. It's good sequencing, good timing. Man, if you let Logan attack with that Rabble Master,
it's over.
You have to block with Brimaz, or you're dead, and then you're dead next turn anyway. So you're in a really tough spot if that happens. Gonna hump that guy down to 3. Now here's something worth being aware of course. Here, Derek actually under the gun, he is dead to top deck Stoke the Flames.
This is true.
Right now, for the rest of the game, he has to fade Stoke the Flames, and Logan isn't that close to being dead. So you need to draw something. Brimaz has done a pretty good job of keeping Derek alive when very few other cards would have.
Something's going on here. Oh,
he's gonna block the token. I like that. It does expose your Mutavault through a removal spell. But that's fine. It's not like this deck is that is the big boy.
So now he's out of Stoke range.
Yep. And you have to he's not actually. He's dead to Stoke still because he's gonna let 2 damage through. But you have to leave opposite out in play, of course. Otherwise, you're dead.
Yeah, he can blink it next turn if he can survive this combat.
Yep.
And hopefully draw a whip.
Foundry Street Denizen. Oh, that's a Fire Trigger trigger.
Yeah.
Triggers Foundry Street Denizen.
Doing
some quick math.
He's not going to attack with that Mutavault because it can just be eaten alive by the 2 big guys there. I don't think Logan attacks this turn.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is what he's attacking for. 2 of the 2/2s get eaten. He gets in there for 3. The only reason to really push through an attack here is because it does leave your opponent dead to lightning strike, depending on how many lightning strikes you have. Alright, he activates the Mutavault and declines.
We'll bluff.
You got to do something soon, because otherwise Derek starts to get blinking opposite on. Yeah. And with Logan's life total as low it is, not only does it get Derek out of range, but it's a good clock. That's a desperation.
Yeah, not as good as a whip, I would think, but this will help clear up the board a little bit.
Yeah. Although it's probably just going to get fed a Rabble Master token if Logan needs to get damage in, if he draws the Stoke Flames.
Yes.
That is pretty good. Although I think Hall of Triumph isn't far from lethal here either. That is true. It's not as good because, of course, the Mutavault doesn't get pumps.
Right.
But it's looking dark for Logan. Derek is doing a really good job of just clawing his way back into this game, maximizing his life total as a resource. We are currently in the combat step.
Here I was thinking this would be a quick matchup because of Ronda Red.
Yep, I agree. I thought so too.
Are we activating Mutavault to go to block the cat?
Looks like it.
More like a kitten.
Yep.
We don't want to block the actual cat.
Yeah, the time for getting real aggressive on a block on Gomez is over.
Yes.
You really have to just hope you draw so points and try to put this game away.
One thing as of the last couple of years where red decks really have just not had it, and that's in the draw spell department.
Yep. I like Faithless Logan. I think Faithless Logan comes to play.
Yes.
Like, how excited would Logan have been to have access to Faithless Logan when he flooded out that last game?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome. So it's looking like he's going to feed the demon. Problem is this. Fire Trigger Satyr can no longer attack.
Right.
Yep.
It's
Do another land.
Double Mutavault.
Mutavault's one of the things this deck plays to prevent flooding. But like I said before, you look at how many lands Logan drew those last couple of turns. And before Opposite Deck came down, another spell or two may have been able to put this game away.
Yeah.
And instead, he drew another couple lands, and that's just something that can happen. I think the Rebel Master deck is very powerful. It's one of the better red decks we've seen in a long time, but sometimes you flood. It's a fact of life.
He has almost as many land as he has creatures in graveyard.
Yep.
It's not really where you want to be when you're playing that. No.
It is a pretty much a done deal. Logan had basically a 2-turn window there to close the door. He had some outs he could draw in live too, and he did not. He quit. And here we are. Sometimes your deck of 2-1s and 2-2s folds to 5-5, 6-6s, and 3-4s.
Magic together. The team of fractions.
Mm-hmm.
Do we use Revolt to double block Burmaz here?
That's why we got to do something.
One of your lands survived.
Is Logan at 2?
Yeah, because Burmaz got through last turn.
So all Derek has to do is blink Opposite that
out. Yeah.
Right?
That's it, really. And I hope Logan just doesn't top deck Magic.
Yep.
So he's going to sacrifice the token to tap down the demon. Makes sense because Logan doesn't have any flyers.
Yep. Gotta do that.
As he's announced that effect about 15 times there, it seemed like.
Yep. Gotta block Brimaz. Brimaz is now a lethal attacker. So blocking with every creature he has access to block with. You obviously can't block the Fire Trigger Satyr who you die. Cackler has been unleashed. So I don't know if Logan is still drawing live here. Yes.
He didn't blink Brimaz.
He didn't blink Opposite that. You can't put
yeah, Opposite that.
But yeah, which means maybe we're still at the end of this turn.
Possible. Unless Derek just doesn't see it right now for some reason.
It's possible our life total might not be 100% correct as well. Jacob's freaking lazy.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding, guys. Jacob is the best. All right, here we go.
He's entranced by all the basic mountains.
It's pretty exciting. So, if my math is correct, Stoke the Flames is lethal here? No, it's not, because he has to attack with both Mutavaults, which leaves him without enough mana or guys to cast it.
That is correct.
So, I don't think Logan has an out. I think he is dead here. He's looking at that card, doesn't seem real excited about what he sees.
He kind of has that most interesting man in the world pose on the table that we dealt with.
A lot of deep consideration made here.
Who thought this wasn't done? Oh, there's a removal spell.
Yep, killing the only legal target on the table.
That just closed one.
Yeah.
And once combat is declared here,
I think Logan's really dead.
Yeah, because he cannot block with his unleashed guy.
Yep, can't block with Cackler.
But
better to the demon. He can block both guys with both Mutavaults. And then he takes 1 from the cat token.
Yeah. And he's at a big old 1.
That's an unhappy looking Logan dice.
It is.
He's scrapping though. Gotta respect him from scrapping.
Yes.
It makes the only block that can keep him alive. Float some mana.
And
Blaze them out when he was bluffing.
Well played, Logan.
Well played.
So that mountain should, I think, be unless he played a mountain already.
Yeah. Well, I mean, does he need more land, I guess, is the answer to that question.
And does Derek blink out onto that for the obvious?
Well, he just plays a second Desecration Demon.
Yeah.
And a Scryland. It's an embarrassment of riches. Logan's at 1 life. Derek has...
he did blink it out.
Okay.
There we go.
Plus he had 16 points of power in play.
Right.
And an Obsidian, and another Bringmouth token.
And that's what the black white mid-range deck does. So
Absolutely.
Derek wins that.
You just play like the best creature in the format, like at every point on the curve.
Yeah.
I just hope that's good enough.
Absolutely.
Back it up with some removal spells and some discard. And, you know, it's basically the Rock, right? It's just a bunch of super efficient creatures, a bunch of discard spells, and some removal.
Yeah. And more discard spells on the board if you need them.
So, you know, the old saying about the Rock is you never play the Rock because if you draw the wrong half of your deck, you lose. It's half creatures and it's half spells.
Yes.
And sometimes you draw nothing but creatures and you lose to your opponent's spells, nothing but spells and lose to your opponent's creatures. But when you draw a good mix of lands and spells, it looks very impressive. Because you play the best spells and the best creatures.
Absolutely.
So that was round 1. Thanks for watching. Once again, I'm Ryan Johnson.
And I'm Scott Campbell.
We're here with Dayton Magic Club. Read locally, play locally. Broadcasting live from the Game Haven.
You get more for your games.
And you can too. We'll see you guys in round 2. We are out. Thanks.